So welcome to this special webinar, Google Pleasing Unique Content for Ranking and Revenue with One Click. What we're going to do is a couple of things. We're going to show you some revenue ideas. We're going to tell you the multiple ways that you can make money with content. And some of them you may already know, some of them there'll be a spin on what you're thinking about, some of them will be new ideas to you. One or two of them are particularly interesting. I've got some example numbers to show you. And when you look at numbers that seem very small, like making $5, it doesn't sound a great deal. But if you get a snowball effect, which funnily enough, John and I were talking about just before we started the webinar, a snowball effect can give you what's called exponential growth, where after a short while, you can get tremendous amounts from small increments. So we're going to talk about that in about 5 or 10 minutes. We're going to show you SynThesis, which is a tool that we're incredibly proud of. It's one that John has coded up to make life simpler and easier. You'll see that. We'll actually show you. And of course, we're going to give you a very special offer. Now, this webinar is for everybody who wants to spend less time and achieve more. If you want to do more work, okay, that's fine. But let's be honest, I think most of us want to be able to achieve more with less effort. Anybody who wants to do more effort to achieve less is unlikely to be here, I would guess. So we're going to be looking at a tool that will help you to do that. And we're also going to be talking about repurposing what you do once you have some content so that you can make more money, because there are multiple ways to make money with the same item. So we're going to talk about making money, and let's just start with the hardest part of making money online. And it's something that is very obvious, but many people don't talk about this. The hardest part of making money online is doing what works over and over and over again, right? Now, you've heard it expressed before, rinse and repeat. Sounds easy, right? Rinse and repeat. But that's what people have to do when they have a job, isn't it? They have to get up every day, they go to work, they earn a few dollars, then they sleep, get up to work, go and do it again, rinse and repeat. Doing the same thing over and over manually. Does anybody really want to do that? I mean, to be fair, it works. We know it works, it gets results, but it is hard work. Over and over, rinse and repeat. So we're going to talk about the solution shortly, but before we do, we're going to be talking about some revenue models. So what we want to do is talk about those revenue models, and then we'll show you a solution that will help you kind of take yourself out of that solution of hard work. There is a way to do that, and we're going to be showing you that in about 5 minutes. But let's talk about the kind of content that drives the web. Content drives the web, right? It's king. You know that. You've all heard this. Content is king. Consuming content is what leads people to buy stuff. So look, you've probably done it yourself. You've seen something on a Facebook ad or an Amazon ad, and you click to find out more. You have a favorite singer performing near you. You click through for tickets. Content drives the web. It certainly drives the search engine, because without content, Google would disappear. They steal content, so to speak. They take it without asking from everybody to feed it into the search engines. And Google makes billions of dollars a year selling advertising on the basis of the search results they provide from other people's content. So content really does drive the web. Now let's talk about a few of the revenue ideas if you have tons of content, because it creates revenue streams in multiple ways. We're going to talk about just a few of them. First one, and John may want to jump in on this as well, but good content published frequently helps you to rank your own sites. And if you've got a site that's ranked, you can make affiliate commissions by promoting products that meet the needs of the people reading the content. Let me just break that down. If somebody reads your content and it answers a question for them, they're more likely to buy through your link than a random link that they just found somewhere else. If you help somebody to find a solution to their problem, whether the problem is how to lose weight, how to unclog a drain, how to improve your golf swing, doesn't matter what the problem is. If you help somebody find a solution, they're more likely to click through to your link. So ranking your own sites, there's a couple of things that make that happen. One is backlinks. Most of you will know that already. A few backlinks are a good thing to have, but you cannot have backlinks without something to link to. You have to have content. Does that make sense to everybody? A backlink may well help you to rank in Google, but not without any content. You've got to have something there to link to. It's that simple. So as soon as you have quality content, Google is looking for quality content all the time to feed into the search engines. If you provide that kind of content, they don't care whether it's you or Joe down the road or Sue in the next house. They do not care whose content they serve to the public. They care that they're serving it to the public and meeting those needs of the searchers, because that's how Google makes money. So this is very egalitarian. They really don't care. They're not bothered about you, me, or anyone else. So we all have a shot at ranking by producing content that Google loves, but also with a frequency that Google expects, because Google is a monster. They devour content all day long. All day long. They're just sitting there. They've got massive resources, and they've got what they call spiders going out and looking for content every second of every day. Now, you can also use content and snippets of content to drive traffic to your sites on social media. So Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, even TikTok is becoming new now, and Snapchat and this kind of thing. Content, whether that content is images or memes or audio, it all drives traffic back to your site. Now we will be answering questions. So I can see there's lots scrolling. So we will be answering questions shortly for you. So you can use snippets of content to get more traffic directly from other sources, so social media. And you can turn that content into videos, audios, and so on. You can also use content, as we've told you many times on webinars in the past, in newsletters. And if you do the same kind of thing in a newsletter as you do on your blog, once you've got people signed up, you can give them good answers to their problems and recommend the right solution. Now, I'm not suggesting that you just sell absolute junk. No. If you're giving people high quality content that they enjoy, you should also give them high quality solutions, and people will pay good money for those solutions if you have convinced them. How do you convince them? You give them good content that makes sense. Quality is an important key indicator here. You have to remember that quality really does win, and so you've got to put in the time to make that kind of quality content if you're doing this manually. Now I want to talk about something really interesting here, because there's a massive need for content, as we've established. People pay for content all the time. So you can create a bunch of articles and sell them as PLR. PLR just means other people can use them as their own, private label rights. Now let me give you some example figures here, and I want to show you step by step just how much a snowball effect can make money. So let's say you make 30 articles for $20. If it takes you 30 hours, that's a really poor hourly rate, right? If you take an hour to create an article manually, and many people take more than an hour, research and so on, $20 for 30 hours of work wouldn't be very good. But if we sell 30 articles for $20 and we sell 50 copies, it hasn't taken us any longer. It's still taken the 30 hours to write the articles. How much have we made? We make $1,000. Now, 50 sales is a very small number. There are PLR sellers and article producers who sell hundreds, and in some cases, many hundreds of copies of each bundle. So let's take this a step further. If you sold 27 of those bundles, 30 in each bundle, that's 833 articles. Now, if you were to write 833 articles, that would take you a long time at an hour per article. We'll talk about automation in a moment, but let's just stick with these figures. 27 bundles of 30 articles at $20 each. That is $27,000. Now, even if you were to take, let's say, a month to do that, for most of us, $27,000 for a month's work would be pretty decent, I think. What if you can do even better? Well, let's just pretend you can't get to $20. What if you charge just $10 per bundle? That's still $13,500. What about $5 per bundle, and you're only selling them to 50 people each time? You're making $6,750. Even at minimum pricing, nobody's going to sell these for $5. That's too low. And only at 50 sales per bundle, you're looking at $6,750. Nobody's going to spend 833 hours to do that. But what if you could get those articles for just $127? This is a big profit, even if you're selling them at $5 a bundle and only selling them 50 50 at a time. In effect, what we're saying is you pay a low cost for the production and you get a high return. If the production cost is your time, that is limited. You only have 24 hours a day. But if you can do this in a way that does not require you to sit typing for hours and days and weeks on end, then the cost simply becomes whatever you pay. Your time is free to do something else. And this is where you can have a low cost acquisition of articles with a high return profit margin. That's just one idea for selling articles. With the same content, you can create a membership site for recurring income where you sell ongoing content. There are sites that sell X numbers of articles every month for X dollars. If you get a few people signing up, a dozen people, 20 people, 50 people, what you would charge depends on how many articles you get, but you can be charging 27, 37, 47 and higher per month. If you got 100 people paying you $97 a month, that's nearly $10,000 a month. If you only got 50 people paying that, you're looking at just over $4,500, something like that. It's a lot of money from a small number of sales. And as long as it's not taking you all day long for weeks on end to produce that content, then the value to you is very high in relation to the cost of acquiring the articles. So the point here is to make sure that when you acquire the content that you're selling, if you choose to sell, don't pay too much for it. And you can be paying $10 or $15 for a unique article if you get it written for you specially. Now, with the membership site idea, if you sell ongoing content, there are people who sign up for that kind of thing because it saves them time. In the same way that we're talking to you about saving time to make money, other people are doing the same. And I can tell you right now that the average person doesn't want to sit writing content all day long because they don't like it. It's unpleasant work for most people. It's hard work for most people, and it requires a dedication that most people cannot sustain. So paying a few dollars, whether that's 27 or 47 every month for a batch of content that you can use, is a very affordable option for most people. So getting customers like that is relatively simple. Now, if you were to create a blog with a membership site, putting all that content onto the membership site yourself does take a bit of time, but there is a way that we can solve that for you as well. And we're going to show you that in about 5 minutes or so. Here's another revenue idea. And by the way, if anybody's wondering if there will be a replay, we will send you a replay of this because there's a lot of ideas. We're being fairly quick with everything. We want to make sure you get a good overview. So you will be able to have a look at this at your leisure to unpack these ideas that we're talking about. The other thing you can do is promote the tools that you already use, because real life reviews, they're absolutely fantastic for generating sales. Whenever we do real life reviews, and particularly if we show ourselves using a tool, we get fantastic results. People like to know that you have used the thing you're talking about because it gives them confidence to buy it themselves. If you look on YouTube on opening, what do they call it, unboxing of new products, or you know, the latest, whatever it is, Apple Watch or iPhone or camera or whatever, a review. Here's the good points, here's the bad points. Here's the one I've got in my hand that I use. They got more views than the ones that just have a list of specs, because you see some videos that just give you a list of specs and it isn't satisfying to the people watching. They want to see somebody else using it because they can imagine themselves in that situation. They can see what somebody else is doing. They can form an opinion. That looks simple, that looks difficult, that looks okay, whatever. And that helps them to formulate the decision to buy. So if you promote the tools you already use, you can do that on an affiliate site with regular product reviews. Most of you on this call will have multiple tools, software tools, maybe specialized tools for your hobbies and so on. Those are things that you can mine for information that will benefit other people. If you think back to the questions you had when you bought something, how does it work? Will it work? How long does it take to learn? How easy is it to use? This kind of thing. Those are questions that other people want to be answered. And so if you answer them, you have another opportunity to make affiliate commission by doing a very specific sort of product, which is a review product, telling people the kind of things they need to know about products they're interested in. Okay, here's the big question. How can we make this easier for you? And it's a really simple answer. John's done an incredible job with SynThesis. It's smart automation. Smart automation just means you click once and let the application, the software, rinse and repeat for you. Now, we said right at the beginning, rinse and repeat works. We know it works. When you do something that works, keep doing it. But when you're doing it with your time, there's a limit to how much you can do. You got to sleep, eat, bathe, go to work, whatever you do, go to the shopping. So there's a limit to how much time you have. But a tool that can automate these actions for you can give you the equivalent of two of you, or three of you, or four of you working all day long on your behalf. So what you do is end up with a rinse and repeat scenario that multiplies the efforts you could make manually many, many times. So let's show you SynThesis, because this is the tool that we're talking about. Anything you want to add, John, before I switch to SynThesis when I can find my mouse? There we go.
Nope, you're doing fine.
Okay, cool. So this is what SynThesis looks like. Now, I'm not going to show you every single thing because we have a help section here that's got a walkthrough. You can watch the video. This is not a training tutorial. This is to show you the features that are in SynThesis. The first and the most important part of SynThesis is the ability to create a unique article from this tab here. So you put in your keyword, specify the language you want. Yes, it will create languages other than English. Choose the number of words you would like, and then generate the article. Let me just add in a related image as well. So I'm going to put in Bitcoin, because that's been in the news today. So we'll generate the article. This is going to take anything from 30 seconds to a couple of minutes, depending how many people are in the queue doing this. And by the way, it's just gone off on my other monitor in case you're wondering why it's disappeared. By the way, SynThesis has been used more often than any other tool we've ever made. SynThesis is something that doesn't just sit on a computer disk. The people who have already bought SynThesis are using it they're producing thousands of articles every month. It is the most solidly used product we have ever produced. Now, it's going to take a minute or two to produce that article. John, just while that's happening, we've never seen this kind of utilization before, have we?
No, in fact, I ran the numbers earlier today, and one of the other applications we have that is not the same, but it does help to create articles. Since we released it about a year and a half ago, SynThesis has generated more content for its users in the last month since that tool, more than that tool has generated since we did the last update a year and a half ago, like major update. So yeah, people are using it like crazy, and I understand why. It's so simple. You enter the keywords, you press the button, you get a unique article, it posts it to your blog. I mean, why wouldn't you use this every single day? And I love that. I love to see people actively using it, not just letting it gather digital dust.
Well, that's the thing. If you have a tool that does a job for you, it cannot do the job for you unless you use it. So, you can buy every piece of software in the world. Unless you use it, it's going to do nothing. And what we're seeing with SynThesis is massive utilization. And the reason, as John has just mentioned, it is so simple to use. It's a couple of clicks and you've got an article. Now, there is a new feature that we're going to show you in a moment or two. This is 70% complete. So when we show you that, I'm going to explain how you can make this rinse and repeat idea even more powerful than what we're talking about now. So here's an example of an article. I didn't type this, by the way. This has been created for me by SynThesis. Got a nice image there, good article, and I've got it in HTML format, so I can create HTML pages if I want to. I can post to my blog. We'll talk about that in a second. I can have the plain text. I can save the files so that I've got them on my computer. That's great. It does save the history as well, but if you wanted to save it, to your own computer, that's a good idea. And we can spin the article, so the text, I can spin it to get a new version, but the article itself is unique. Now, we do allow you to check with Copyscape. That does cost a credit, but you don't need to. I mean, if you wanted to the first couple of times you make an article just to check, but honestly, most people after the first time that they've seen it's unique, once you know it's unique, you don't need to use Copyscape. But we've got a really nice example article here. So I can save it copy it, and I can post it to my blog. Okay, so we post it from this little icon here. So when we click on this, we get any of the blogs, oops, it's on the other side here, any of the blogs that we've set up in the system, we can choose. I've only got one test blog here. When you choose that, you then choose the categories, the options. I've got a couple of categories here. This is just a demo blog, by the way. No, hair loss wouldn't be suitable, but it general. Options that you choose, click on post, and you're done. So I'm just going to cancel that. I don't need to post it, but you can post it that simply. It's what, a couple of seconds, and you can have multiple blogs in the system. So if you have 10 blogs, no problem. If you have 20 blogs, no problem. And the other thing you can do, which is a revenue issue, is you can post content to somebody else's blog if they're paying you to do it and they allow you the login details. So you can actually do this as a revenue stream for other people. Just let that sink in for a moment. So far, so good. Now, we also offer the option of some ready-made content. This is not 100% unique, but it's pretty good content. This is from Article Builder, where you can create articles in a whole bunch of categories. We also have ready-made PLR. You choose the keyword, and you've got a bunch of categories again. I'm not going to show you those because the real power in SynThesis is from the unique articles on the SynThesis tab. I chose the 500 words, but you can choose any of these 4 options. Now, if you want more than 750 words, just do a couple of articles and combine them. But 750 per article is the current maximum that we have. Now, hopefully, let me just see, I'm going to go to the blogs and show you what we do here because I'm just wanting to make sure I haven't got my password showing. Let me pause my screen just for 1 second. Good, it's not showing, so let me show you the screen again. So on here, we can set up as many blogs as we want that we can post to. These can be your blogs, or you can post for other people. You can create a revenue stream by doing the work that other people hate for some money. People will pay you to post to their blog. Now, if it takes you a couple of seconds or to click generate article, it's not really any work, is it? Once you've set up the blog, posting to that blog is no problem. Here's the real power though. On the Jobs tab, we can set up jobs that do the article creation and the article posting on a timer. If you set the jobs up and then close down SynThesis, close down your computer and walk away, those jobs will continue to run in the background on our server. So if you set up, let's say, a posting job for the next 14 days, and then you go on a 14-day vacation, when you come back, you're going to have 14 days worth of content that has magically appeared on your blog or a client's blog without you touching a thing. Let me show you what I mean. So you add a job, you choose the blog. I've only got one blog in here for testing to show you, but you could have dozens. You could have 50 if you want, however many you want. Choose the test blog, choose the category. So let's say travel, we're talking about travel. How many words, how often you want to have a new article appear. Choose your options here. These are all fairly straightforward, aren't they? The posting hours, if you leave it as it stands here, the default setting, it will just post, okay? It will just post any time of day randomly. So some might go in at 9 a.m., some might be 2:15 p.m. and so on. It's just going to randomize. And then we put in a bunch of keywords here. Each line is a separate keyword. So I might put Facebook groups, because we're talking about, oh no, travel, sorry. Vacation ideas, Greek islands, and somewhere, I don't know, Rome, just as an example. Click on save, and the job will then appear in the job list here. And if I now close this down, this is going to keep posting for me to my blog or a client's blog on the time schedule that I've specified here. Now that's incredibly powerful because you saw how long that took me to set up the job, and even while I was talking, it was quick. What would you say? Was it about maybe a minute, John, do you think? Took about a minute.
It wasn't very long.
Excuse me, I was just coughing there, so I'm muted. Yeah, so a minute. But if you just talk and do it as I've done, it will take longer. If you do it without having to tell somebody what you're doing, it's a lot quicker. Now, that's one job. I've got a vacation idea on my test site. I can add another job, and it could be a different blog. It could be the same blog. Now, I've got some silly example categories here, but you may have a blog with multiple categories. Let's talk about search engine optimization now. And I want this to post every other day, let's say. And I'll have an image, and I'll leave the time as before. And in this case, I might choose a different language, but I'll stick with English for now. So search engine optimization, keyword research. I'll just put a single keyword in here, so I could go on to multiple lines, but just to save time, click on save. Have a look in a second. I've now got 2 jobs running. They're going into different categories as it happens. They are looking for content, creating content in different keywords, and I can walk away. If I close this down now, my demo blog will keep getting content. And then I can come in and change the job later if I want to. I can delete it if I'm happy about it. I can change the keywords and all this kind of thing and then save it. I have the rinse and repeat automation right here. This is so powerful. This is how you can create 30 articles to sell for $5. Actually, that would be a stupid price to sell. That's too low. But just stick with me for the moment. If we said $5, even at $5, if you're selling 30 articles and you're selling them in bundles, if you sell 27 bundles to 50 people, you're making thousands and thousands of dollars. If that only costs you $127 to acquire that content, that unique content, then your profit margin is ridiculous. Now, I'm just going to leave it on that screen for a moment. John, is there anything you want to add about this automation here? Because this is the rinse and repeat on steroids. I mean, this is just kind of incredible.
Yeah, no, nothing really to add, just that it's just so easy. However many blogs you have, whatever topics they cover, you just set up one or more jobs for each of your blogs and it takes care of all the content for you. I mean, it's really simple. And you don't even have to you don't have to leave SynThesis open because it puts the jobs onto our servers and they're going to post to your blogs whether or not the application's open. So you don't even have to keep it open. You just set up the jobs, close SynThesis, go do whatever you have to do, and it'll take care of it for you.
Now we say you can set up the job and leave it and so on, and choose your keywords. You can, if you have a virtual assistant, you can give them your login and let them run SynThesis for you if you want to. Now bear in mind the cost of acquiring the content is so low, you could actually afford to pay somebody to do that for you if you choose to. So this can be hands-off if you wish. They are unique articles through the Create SynThesis tab. That means they are yours to do with as you please. You can use them on your blog, your social media. You can sell them to other people. You can use them to create articles for other people's blogs. You can bundle them up as PLR. You can turn them into reports or short reports. You can use them as the basis of a meme. You can pull out individual bits and put them on graphics and so on. You can do what you like with them. You can give them away if you want to, as a means of getting people onto your mailing list. If you give people something of value, and good quality content certainly is of value, you can actually use that to build up a mailing list and then sell them on other things if you wish to. These are multiple ideas for revenue streams that we've covered so far, and that's just touching the surface. I mean, it really is incredibly easy to use, as you've seen, and the very fact that so many people who already have this are using it to the extent that John mentioned earlier is proof positive that that is the case. This has produced in a month more than previous tools we've had running for a full year. People who get this love it and use it because it's so simple. I mean, it really is, isn't it? You put in a keyword. I know weight loss is something we talk about a lot. It's a nice, easy keyword for people to understand. You generate the article. Oh, look, it's even reminding me to save the article because I'd forgotten to do that. I'm not going to save it because it is just for demonstration purposes, but it will now generate another article for me. It's actually doing that on the other monitor, and there's a few people in the queue ahead of me because a few people are actually using it. So last time we showed SynThesis, we actually had people creating articles while we were talking, and Sherry Harris had almost written an ebook in the just over an hour that the webinar was running. She was just clicking a button and letting the content appear for her, and then coming back to the webinar. It's pretty incredible. So we've shown you SynThesis. I want to take a pause for a moment to see if there are any questions we need to handle, John, because I know you've been dealing with them.
Yeah, there's a number of people asked if those coupon codes work if they already own SynThesis and they're adding credits from within the application.
No, they don't, but I can make it so that they do. But I'll have to get you to code that, John.
Sure. Yeah, it's not complicated to make that happen, but
Yeah.
I'll go take a look at that whenever you get to the next leg.
Yeah. Okay. It's not set up in PKS though, so we'd have to do that, I think. But we will
Yeah,
certainly
sure.
will make that happen for people who already have SynThesis. Yes, of course we will, but we'll have to do some behind the scenes stuff. So realistically, whether that will happen in the next 10 minutes, I'm not sure. Any other questions that we've missed?
Let's see. I've been answering most people directly. Some people are asking, like, how specific can the keywords be? And you can get really specific. I've run some highly narrow subjects through SynThesis, and it hasn't had a problem with it. So you can get pretty specific with the keywords that you use. That's not a problem. And other people are asking, is it a one-time cost or is it a subscription? It's a one-time cost. You get a fixed number of credits. Now, there is an offer after you buy the fixed number of credits where you can get an annual subscription at a discount if you want to, but you don't have to do that. You can just do the one-time cost, and whenever you need more credits, you can add them from inside the system. So those are
Yeah.
most of the questions. And will they always be unique? Yes, they will always pass Copyscape, and you can test that every single time if you want to, but they will always pass Copyscape.
Yeah, which is incredible. I've got a question here, which I think is an important one from Danilo. Has the software been updated or is it in our plans to continue? Yes, it has been updated. The new Jobs tab is here, which will essentially, the Job tab duplicates you as many times as you want. You can see the example here. That would be 4 me's posting while I'm asleep. How about 10 me's posting while I'm asleep? Do you think you can do that yourself? Nobody can. I can have 10 times, 20 times as many posts going onto my blogs as I could possibly do manually. 30 times, well, within the number of credits you have. So there are some new features that we're going to be producing in the future, but we're not going to talk about those just yet. But yes, updates will apply and be distributed to everybody who has this. So if you bought this previously, you will get those updates as well automatically. So we got an article here again. That was just an example one, weight loss, and we can save it, spin it, post it. In fact, let me just show you on the text. So spinning, for those who don't know what that means, is it just looks at the wording, substitutes different words that mean the same thing, and then you've got another but different article. So from one article here, you can end up with two. Look how complex it is to do that. Click this button up at the top, and I've got a totally different article. That's how complex it was and how quick it was. 5 seconds, one button. Pretty simple, right? So you can see how easy this is, and you don't have to have images. You can choose the options that you like here. So we've shown you SynThesis. We've shown you how simple it is. The point of the whole thing is that it is replicating your ability to create and post articles, which means you can do more in less time with less effort. And if you publish more, you're more likely to get your sites ranked. If your sites rank, you're more likely to get more traffic. If you get more traffic, you're more likely to get more money. Pretty simple, isn't it? The discount pricing we're offering ends at midnight Eastern Standard Time on Monday, November the 3rd, the end of this month. And it's 97 for the beginners, or the best value, the pro version is 127 normally, and that gives you more than double. It gives you 2.5 times as much content. But you don't want to go there because we're going to give you a deal, and the deal is not 127 and 97. Forget that. You will be paying $77 if you get the beginner's 1,000 credits, or the best value, which is 2,500 credits, which gives you 833 500-word articles. 833 articles. That's only $97. But that coupon will automatically expire at midnight Eastern Standard Time on Monday, November the 30th. Now, the link that you will see on this replay page will give you an automatic discount. It will be embedded for you, so you don't have to type anything. Don't worry about it. If you do happen to go to the normal page and the checkout is the full price, then you just put in the code that you can see on screen. But please, whatever you do remember that those codes disappear at midnight on Monday, 30th of November. That's midnight at Eastern Standard Time. So you've got to take action before then. Now, if there are any other questions, we'll take them now for a couple of minutes. Anything that we need to cover, John?
I'm not seeing anything. There's some people asking how do they become affiliates, and can you field that question because you're more familiar with that system than I am?
Absolutely, yes. So if you want to become an affiliate, there is a link that we will send you. It's in the emails that you've seen this week already, and we will put it on the replay page. So if you're watching the replay, have a look just below here, you'll see a link. That link will take you to Pay Kickstart. If you're not a member there, you can join for free, and then you can become an affiliate of our products, and there are other products as well, but of course we'd like you to promote ours. If you promote our products, then you get commissions on everything that you sell. And all you have to do is click on the links. You'll see the link below, and it will list the products that you can be an affiliate for. It will give you details of the commission and so on, what the kind of pricing is, so you can work out how much revenue you might make. And you just click on that. It says request approval. We'll approve that for you if everything else looks okay. And when that happens, within your Pay Kickstart account, you will get a special link. That special link is the one that you give people on your website. Anybody who clicks that will be tagged with you as the affiliate. If they then buy from us later, you get the commission. So anybody coming to your site who sees your special link, if they click on it, they kind of become yours. And so if they buy subsequently, then you get a commission. Those links are different for each product, of course. And you may want to do reviews and what have you to explain why people should buy something from us, because we find that's very powerful. But the process of becoming an affiliate is very simple. All you have to do is look at the link below, click on that, join if you haven't already joined, and then choose the options that you want to promote. You don't have to promote everything. If you just want to promote a single item like SynThesis. SynThesis is such an incredible tool. If you're a newbie at promoting anything, I would recommend you start with SynThesis because it's so easy to sell. It really is. Now, the other thing to do, and this is just a word of warning, when you set up an account in Pay Kickstart, please do remember to put your PayPal email address in there for payment. If you don't put that in there, we have no way to pay you. It is by PayPal, so you're going to have a PayPal account that can receive money, but you'll see when you set up your account in your profile, it will ask you for your payment details from PayPal, and that's how they send the money to you when you've earned a commission. And commissions are paid at the beginning of the month for anything that was generated 30 days or more previously, so outside the refund period, in other words. So becoming an affiliate, very simple, just use the link below. Now, let me just see if there's any other questions.
We still have a number of current SynThesis users asking if they get the deal too to add to their current credits. And the answer is yes, you will. It doesn't work this moment, so we have to set that up. But when you go into SynThesis, when you go to the license tab, you can buy more credits there. And we'll have to set up the discount codes for those checkout buttons also. So we'll email all current users and let them know that when that's available.
So I've just had to move that so I can take out my license for obvious reasons. But when you go to the license tab, your license key would normally be here, of course. I've hidden mine, but you can buy credits here. And you can see that these are the normal pricing. What we will do is we'll sort out a special discount on this for you. That discount will last until Monday, November the 30th as well. So if you're an existing user of SynThesis, don't worry, we've got you covered as well, but it will probably be when we send out the replay tomorrow. That will be Saturday. And you'll be able to do it at that point. So we will confirm for you at that point that it is set up so that you can get the specially discounted price in here. So we'll do that for you. And let me just take that out of the way again. Now, if you do have any other questions, then please feel free to ask us, and you can always submit them later if you need to. There is just a couple of moments left before we finish. Let's have a look. Find the link on this replay page. Don't buy from the main page because you'll pay too much. Take advantage of the discount that you're seeing on this replay and save some money. But please do remember, you've only got until midnight Eastern Standard Time on Monday, November the 30th, and then those discounts will disappear. John, do you want to take us out?
Yeah, like I always say on all the webinars, and it's so important. The fact that you're here, that you came, you took some time out to listen, to learn, and hopefully to take us up on it for your future in running your website. It means you're in the 5% because most people don't take action. There's a lot of people sitting at home, not doing anything particularly important, maybe watching Netflix and whatever, relaxing, not taking the time out to learn something that could benefit them and make them some money online. And that always kind of surprises me, especially in a time where the world has so many economic problems and a lot of people are hurting. You would think that more people would take action than do, but that's because, like you, I have the mindset of doing something, like take action, benefit, profit. That's my mindset. And it's been my mindset for decades. And the fact that you're here shows that that's your mindset too. And I know there's some people who just couldn't make it for some important reason, but there's so many people that aren't here that could be. So you're different. You've taken the step, and that means you've got a much greater chance of success than most people who just are content to sit on the sidelines or who don't themselves. You clearly do, and that's wonderful. And I always like to encourage that, whether you take us up on the offer or not. I always encourage people, listen and learn so that when you do take action, you're much more likely to be successful. So congratulations for being one of those people. It certainly puts you in line for more success than those who, for no good reason, decided not to show up this evening. Thank you again for coming. We always appreciate it. We know we every single question. If you have any questions that we were unable to answer, be sure to put a ticket in at the help desk. We will definitely answer all of your questions. Thanks again for coming, and we hope to see you next time.